Hi there. We're going to talk about section 2.4, the library of functions, and also piecewise-defined functions. Library of functions in piecewise-defined functions. We're gonna start actually with the second thing in this section, which is piecewise defined functions. Right? A piecewise-defined function is a function given using different expressions. So it's a function given using different expressions for different parts of its domain. It is important to keep in mind, however, that the different parts altogether make up all one function. Okay? It does have many parts, but it is one function. To talk about this topic, I want to talk about a real-world situation and why we would ever need something like a piecewise function. All right. So I'm going to use something kind of familiar to us. Due to the drought, a water company, and this is not truthful, I made this up, but has decided to charge 5 cents per gallon of water used in a month up to and including 500 gallons. If a household uses more than 500 gallons, 500 and up to 1,000 gallons in a month, they charge 10 cents per gallon. 10 cents per gallon over 500. Then, above 1,000 gallons used, in a month, the water company charges 25 cents. The charge goes way up per gallon just for those gallons over 1,000. Okay, so there's one price if you use up to 500. If you use more than 500, they start charging an extra amount for those gallons over 500. And if you go over 1,000, they charge an even higher amount. I did make this up, but it's similar to what the East Bay Mud Company is doing here in California as far as trying to help people conserve water. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to find the cost of a monthly water bill. The cost of a monthly water bill for a household as a function of gallons of water used per month. Okay? Now, of course, we're going to be writing a function, and we need it to depend on something. So we'll call that independent variable, the x, and it's going to stand for the number of gallons used per month. And our function, we're going to call f of x. Now since it's piecewise, I'm going to use a little bracket to kind of indicate that these are all together and all making one function. And we're going to think about the different pieces of this function's domain, right? X is the number of gallons used per month. So the domain of f altogether would be 0 to infinity, right? You could use none water, or you could use a lot of water. You would not use negative amounts of water. So if they're going to charge 5 cents per gallon at the beginning for up to 500 gallons, we can express that as 0.05, that's 5 cents, times the number of gallons for the whole bill. And that's the case if x is between 0 and the word problem told us including 500 gallons. So any amount of water used between 0 and 500 gallons is going to get charged at 0.5 times that number of gallons. Now, if we go above 500, between 500 and 1,000, the first 500 gallons will be charged at 5 cents. But the second, amount, the amount over 500, will be charged at 10 cents. So we're going to take 10 cents times the total that we used in the month, but we're going to subtract $500 from 500 gallons, from that, because we already charged 5 cents for those 500 gallons in the first part of this line here. And so this is going to be true if x is between 500, but not including 500, and 1,000, including 1,000. And then thirdly, if we use more than 1,000 gallons, we're going to get charged 5 cents per gallon for the first 500 gallons. We're going to get charged 10 cents per gallon for the next 500 gallons, and then plus 25 cents per gallon for any amount over that first 1,000. So we'll take our total and subtract the 1,000 that we already got charged for to figure out how much will be charged at 25 cents per gallon. And this is going to be true if x is greater than 1,000. Excuse me. So we've created this piecewise function that's made up of 3 different pieces because we had to split the domain of x, right, the number of gallons used per month, into 3 different pieces. Okay. So now, what is the domain of f? Well, we already answered that question. The domain of f is 0 to infinity. Of course, there probably is a limit to how many gallons you could just let your faucets run on, but in theory, we could, it could go up as high as we want it to. And then C, we're going to answer the question, find the amount of a household's water bill if the household uses 750 gallons in 1 month. Okay, so 750 gallons is in between 500 and 1,000, right? So we're going to be using this piece of the function. When you have a piecewise function and you're going to plug a value in, you have to figure out which piece the x value that you're plugging in fits into, right? And that's why you look at the qualifiers, at the statements after the if, to find that part of the domain. So I'm not going to plug 750 into the first here. I'm not going to plug it in here. And I'm not going to plug it in down here. I'm going to plug it into this middle part or piece of the function. Okay, so we can write that as f of 750 equals 0.05 times 500 plus 0.10 times 750, that's my x, minus 500. Okay. 5 cents times 500 is $25, plus 10 cents times 250, that's $25, and 10 cents times 250 is another $25. So the total bill for that month will be $50.